Well, good morning, all. Ira Epstein with your morning flash update for this December 12th, 2020. Well, we had three Fed members, actually four. Schmidt also talked, and I'll cover that in my written update. Philly Fed President Anna Paulson, she said it's very important to bring inflation back to 2%. Markets and investors still believe she thinks that the Fed can do that, even though it's been 4 some odd years since that's happened. And she does not see widespread price increases due to tariffs. Cleveland Fed President Hammack this morning said he sees gradual cooling in labor markets, but inflation still above target. And he said it's challenging to balance both sides of the dual mandate at one time. Fed President Goolsbee was on CNBC, and he wants to see more proof of the weakening labor and that inflation due to tariffs are in fact transitory, and that's why he dissented on the vote. He believes that the market could even be, if it proves to be that the weakening is there and that inflation is in fact transitory and starts to come down in the first quarter. He said that he believes rates can fall more than the median as to what the Fed members came out with. So he'd be very dovish, but he needs proof before he can do that. Now, in looking at the markets, you're getting a little bit of profit taking. It's Friday. That's early on. We don't know what the second part of the day will hold at all, but that's not uncommon. I'm also looking at gold and silver, both continuing on their quest for higher prices. Obviously, the contract high in the gold over 4,400 now is the target zone. In the energy markets, still on the weak side. And as I said yesterday, we saw both OPEC and IEA come out with their projections. And on those projections, while the IEA said that they don't see as large a glut as they did earlier in the year, and going into 2026, they still see a pretty big glut. And I'm hearing people talking about Brent down to the $50 area by the end of next year. So gives you an idea. Notice the bonds and notes. So you had your Wednesday announcement, and all of a sudden the markets are adding back the yield. And what I've been saying is I think the pros are buying the 2s, selling the 10s. And if you look, you're down 5 1/4 and down 1.3. So that's what I think is going on. In the currency markets, I'm still very bearish on the dollar. I think that has a ways to go. And I think we can now make our change as we're dealing with this and get rid of the December. And you can move this, like you see me already doing it here, now to the March dollar index. And I'll do that just so you can see what I'm doing there. And there we go. So I've already moved on my subscribers today. I moved into the March currencies formally. I had this here a little earlier. I told you I knew I was early, but I wanted you to be watching that. And very soon we'll be moving out of the December stock indices into the March, but it's not quite time just yet. In the grain market, we have a marketplace, as I'm saying it, that still isn't getting enough bid. Now, today, China did announce a purchase of soybeans, but it's not a huge amount. It was, I think, 150 million metric tons, something in that arena. You need more than that. So we will see what happens here. But according to Scott Bessent, they will make their 12.5 million this year, metric tons, and that he's looking for 25 million a year after that. We will see if this all comes to pass. China says a lot of things and doesn't follow through on just as many. And that's pretty much what I'm seeing today. So I think it's going to be more of a day where you sit back and you breathe a little bit. And then we get ready for the slew of data that'll hit us next week on in. I'm Ira Epstein. You have yourself a great weekend. I will put out your weekend updates for you. Take care.